And welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben, and this is my review for Netflix's original series, Spectros. Spectros? Spectros? A group of teenagers get unintentionally involved in a conflict between Japanese Shinto ghosts and Brazilian witchcraft. So there's only 8 episodes in this series, and they range from about 30 minutes to about 54 minutes. It's all over the place when time. Obviously, they've just gone by the story they want to tell. And this is a very interesting story in the way of the cultures that it mixes together. I really like the fact that it takes the Japanese culture and the Brazilian culture and kind of mixes them together. The original language that it's in is Brazilian Portuguese, so if you're trying to do the dubbing, I'd suggest not listening to the dubbing because the dubbing is awful. I really didn't like it. It just takes you out of the story completely. So watch the subtitles and listen to the original language, which is great. But getting back to the combination of cultures makes this for a very interesting story. I like the ghost story and the kind of the group. These teenagers are quite believable as for their plight that they're going through, but at the core center of the story is the story of brother and brother love. So at the beginning of the story, you find out that there's these 2 brothers, one young, one old, and they have to live basically in poverty. Their mom has disappeared, and so they're trying to look after each other. And it's the little brother that sees there seems to be supernatural goings on in his city, and it's only later on do they discover that there are supernatural entities, something that wants to control all these supernatural entities, and it's these teenagers' job to stop, the bad things from happening. And it is quite fun, and the characters and the teenagers, I think their acting is pretty good. At times, it did take me out of the story because some of the dialogue is a bit strange. It's not quite believable of what they would say. I think the worst thing about this series, if I can just get that out of the way, is some of the background actors. So you have these extras that come on and they just look like they don't know what they're doing a lot of the time. There's a particular scene where there's these 2 extras in a car shop, a mechanic shop, and they look like they're looking up at the ceiling and they're meant to be talking about something or other to do with cars, but it just looks like they were doing this. And it was just totally unbelievable. And you get a few of that. I do feel like this series has a budget constraint issue. So I remember watching and talking to my wife as she was watching one of the episodes with me, saying that this series definitely suffers from budget because it looks like it needed an extra amount, an extra cash injection just to really give it that fine polish. The special effects look a bit iffy. Some of the kind of the special effects works and set designs looked a bit iffy as well. But then again, in contrast, there are some amazing sets. There's one particular set to do with a witch's, I guess, lair or her domain, and it has all these movable parts, and I just thought that was excellent. So it's a real weird contradiction of, hey, this is amazing, and hey, this is not so great. But as a whole, the story is a lot of fun, and it's quite easy to get through once you get past if you struggle reading subtitles. I think that you should give this a go because it's a unique story, and I really love the culture clash in a way. It's a different one. I haven't seen that used before like that with the Japanese culture mixed with the Brazilian. I really like what they did with that. I think the acting is okay. I don't think it's brilliant. It's not going to be like, you're not going to switch off and go, wow, that's just how you act, man. You need to copy that. But it was believable for the most part. I'm not sure it's going to get another series. It might do if it does well. Netflix do churn out a lot of series like this, and unless they get a decent fan following, they kind of cancel them. So hopefully if you like this, let your friends know that they need to follow in. As I said earlier, there's this dynamic between the brother and brother relationship, and that's easy to really get to grips with. And then the group starts forming these kind of trios as more of the teenagers are introduced into this world, and there's this mythos that they're trying to deal with. And I think that's where the story works best, is when these teenagers are interacting with each other. It's quite fun to see how their relationship develops and how they bounce off their dialogue. I think the dialogue is okay and it's quite fun to watch. My teenage son kept on turning around trying to watch what I was watching because it was interesting to him. Kept pulling him away from his game because that is he said it reminded him of an anime. So it's like a live action anime, and I guess what he's saying there, and I think that's the appeal. It's quite quirky, it's quite fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously, which I think is great. It works well for it. Had they gone a little bit more down the comedic side, it would have been too much, and the balance is quite there. I think it worked quite well. I'll be interested to see what they do with this universe and this world in the future. So like I said, I think it's built well. I think some of the sets are really fun and enjoyable to watch. I think the special effects isn't particularly great, but if you need something just particularly easy, you don't have to concentrate too much to watch, and you like the culture mixes, which I did, I really liked, then you're probably going to enjoy this one. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this series. Thanks so much for watching this review. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long on Tuesday.